Hi, I'm Colton with Porsche Center Calgary, and this is one of our in-stock 2018 Macans. Now there's a few things that are special about this one. On the back it'll just say Macan, but it's a little bit more than that. This is the Macan Sport Edition. Not to be confused though with the Macan S, which is a very different thing. It can be a little confusing. So when you go from a Macan to a Macan S, there's a jump in horsepower, but you don't really get anything else. You just get the larger engine. When you go from the Macan to the Macan Sport Edition, it's the opposite. You have the same engine as the standard Macan, which is the 2-liter Turbo 4, 252 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque, but you get a whole lot more stuff, which I think that's where kind of the breakdown is. People don't always understand that. So let me clarify a little bit. When you go to this Sport Edition, some of the stuff you get: much larger wheels. So this is the 20-inch RS Spider wheel that is standard on the Sport Edition, whereas you'd have an 18-inch, much more basic wheel standard on a regular Macan. So that's huge. That's a pretty costly upgrade if you want to add it to a Macan. You also get a headlight upgrade. All of these have the bi-xenons to start with, whereas the regular Macan will have a halogen. You've got to upgrade to get those bi-xenons. When you start to go inside, you get a whole lot more as well. You have the panoramic roof as standard in this car. You have air suspension as well, so you can change ride firmness and ride height. You have sport exhaust, so you have the button to make it sound a little bit louder, and the sport chrono package, so you have your stopwatch, launch control, sport plus modes, all that stuff. Now everything I'm talking about can be added on the Macan for an additional charge, but again, standard on the Sport Edition, so this is really a good kind of value proposition. There's a ton of extra stuff. Rear heated seats as well, already standard on here. I may have mentioned already, I don't know, panoramic sunroof, standard, it's huge. So that's kind of the main story here with this car, is all the value, all the extra standard stuff. As a result though, when you look at the build sheet, it looks kind of short, looks like there's not that much in it. And there is, so there's all that stuff and a few other things that I'll go over with this one specifically. So outside, this is the standard white, one of our most popular colors for sure, and a no charge. You can go up to the metallic white if you like. To be honest, I don't notice a huge difference unless, you know, in certain light the metallic will show a little bit, but it's not a night and day difference. Inside, this one is a little bit more exciting than most, having the two-tone black and red interior. The vast majority of what we'll sell is just standard black. I really like the black and red for a few reasons. Firstly, because it's a bit different, but also they haven't overdone it. You have your red seats and armrests, but you still have black dash and carpets and all that stuff. So it's a little more exciting without being kind of overwhelming. And also, when you go to that two-tone, you get more leather. So the dashboard is all leather wrapped, and so are all of your armrests, which they wouldn't be in a standard interior. Your seats still would be if you had upgraded your seat, but the other parts wouldn't be. Also, a really subtle touch that I like is you get a little red contrast stitch line across kind of the front of the dashboard, which is really nice. You look at it all the time and it just pops a little bit more. So that's the interior color. Some other options. We put in the Premium Package Plus, which there's a lot less to in this car, and it's much less expensive because a lot of the stuff that's part of that package on other cars is, again, standard here. So it does give you the seat upgrade to the 14-way, so that's what's in here. Thigh extension, lumbar support over the standard seat. And you get the memory with that as well, so your seat, steering column, mirrors, all that stuff. The positions are all memorized with the buttons on the door. But it also, a lot of people don't realize, remembers a whole lot more. There's a whole kind of driver profile in there. So you have, you know, how long you want your headlights to stay on, whether you want the doors to lock when you drive away or right after you start the car, all that stuff. You can kind of play with it. It'll be remembered in those profiles if you have multiple drivers. So there's that. There's also the seat ventilation as part of that package. Heating standard, and as I mentioned in this one, even heating in the back is standard, but you add ventilation up front with the package, and the entry and drive. So you just touch the door handle to unlock, and same thing, kind of touch the outside to lock it, and then leave your key in your pocket inside the car and just turn the ignition switch to start it. So that package is in here. We also added the roof rails. Right? You can't put them on after the fact, so a good idea to put those on from factory if you ever think you might need them. And then also, so I said sport exhaust is standard on the car. It has that, but we changed it a little bit, just making the rear tailpipes for that sport exhaust system black, just to tie in with the black window surround and the roof rails. Looks a little bit better if you have all those black accents and then the silver ones out back. Just looks a little bit less well put together. So we just did that minor change as well. So Cool car, great contrast and color combination, and the Sport Edition is really a good value that I don't think people properly appreciate. So I hope you found the video helpful and enjoyable. Please keep scrolling, check out our other inventory. We've got quite a few, and do pay us a visit. We'd be happy to take you for a drive. Thanks again.